You already know. Yeah, your boy G Bush is back at it again. Let me see my settings is correct. Yeah, my settings is good, man. Let me turn my headphones down. We make sure we good over here. Welcome on in to the Barber Shop, and thank you guys for pulling up on me. It is a beautiful 4th of July weekend, and I know a lot of people is out here moving around. I know a lot of people out there, if you cooked out on the holiday, if you were doing your thing yesterday, it's messed up a little bit because I almost forgot it was Saturday. I thought yesterday was Saturday. But there's a lot of people on the road moving around. If you're in the highways, the byways, don't worry. The hardest working man in the industry is here to keep it 100% with you. We're going to cook when nobody else is cooking. If you ain't got no family or friends and you at that spot, don't worry. G Bush gonna get you together because we got a great show planned for you today. There is new footage out. New footage out. Your boy is out here dropping dimes. They thought he was gonna be, it's 4th of July weekend. They thought he was gonna be out here drag racing or something. Nah, he was out there putting that work. We'll talk about that coming up in this episode. Hey, guess what is also? We got a lot to do. G Bush was on 92.3 The Fan. We talk a little bit about the Browns fan base and the media. Why are we the way we are? We're going to get to, I got some sources that told me this. Why is the sources all over the place? Well, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret about these sources. I'm going to let y'all know. Do Cash really got sources like that? Let me just say, do Cash really got sources like that? And then LeBron James has been spotted. LeBron James, is he for real trying to come back to the crib? Is he for real about that life, or he just doing it? He just playing around? Is it that time of the year for LeBron? You know how he be flirting and stuff. He be flirting and stuff. We'll figure that out as well. I'll give you my thoughts on that. We'll talk about the 4th of July. We'll get to all the great things as well. And we're going to do it right here on this episode of The Barber Shop.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barber Shop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barber Shop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture. It's lifestyle. It's sports. And it's now the Barber Shop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.
Happy 4th of July. It's your boy G Bush back at it again. It's the Barber Shop, and I know you out moving around. I wanted to say thank you. Stay safe with these fireworks too. Stay safe with these fireworks. We don't know John. Don't know JPP. The fireworks is dangerous. Make sure you out there with some adults. Make sure they're supervised. We want to keep all our fingers and toes and all our faculties about us as we enjoy the 4th of July. Listen, I don't know why y'all be trying to go on vacation. G Bush, we ready to go. We breaking everything down. We ain't going nowhere. We want to get into this situation. New footage of Shedeur Sanders has jumped up on my coffee table. New footage of Shedeur Sanders is out. And this is why I like this, man. First and foremost, as I set this up, your man Shedeur Sanders is out there with the Browns helmet on. Making statements out here. Like, yeah, Shedeur could have been out here with anything else on. He could have been out here with the Colorado helmet on. Listen, the statement he was making? Let's get to it, man. I was going to try to wait this out through a monologue. I just want to see the footage. I know you want to see that footage. Let's get to it. Look at this. He out here just ready to go. You see how he could have been at the crib hanging out. He could have been on chill, posted up. Nah, he's somewhere in Florida, I believe. I see the palm trees in the back. He out there in the middle of the night dropping dimes. Balls is just right on time. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, a lot of y'all cats out there, Y'all thought, oh, it's the 4th of July. We're going to be out here hanging out, doing certain things. And this is all strategic. This all strategic right here. He could have been out here just throwing the ball in a baseball cap. He could have been out there just doing what he wanted to do and some regular stuff. But this strategic. You know what he's telling you is, I will not be deterred. If you think you're going to talk me up out of what my position is going to be, you're out of here, bro. And there's a lot of people that'll sit up here and say, well, if he was working so hard, why would he need to be out there putting the Browns helmet on if he was working so hard, G? He needs to do that type of stuff in silence? I mean, I'm pretty sure that every other quarterback's working out. The Flaccos are working out. Pickett is probably working out. Dylan Gabriel's probably working out. Shedeur, I mean, he could probably stop it. Yeah, it's raining. Who cares? I'm dropping dimes. You know why this is important? And this is why this is the note to the haters. You're not phasing me, bro. You think that all these little articles you write, and this is what Coach Prime was talking about. Remember before he got to Colorado, and he said, hey, we coming. We on the way. We coming. This is this version of, yeah, we coming, we on the way. Because he put the helmet on to let people know, whether you believe it or not, I'm still part of the team. Whether you believe it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you can't stop the momentum. You can write what you want, look at what you want, do anything you want in life. You have no ability to stop my work ethic, my grind, and my mentality. That's the best thing about life in general. You're going to have some haters, and you're going to have some people that don't like nothing. You're going to have some people that don't want no problems with something. People don't have a problem with you calling yourself legendary and doing this all the time. But guess what? They can write whatever they want to. They have no bearings on when you wake up and how you throwing the football. You see, the helmet was to tell him, yeah, I know you're protective of what your little circle or group is, because this is what we're talking about. The circle and the group. We talking about the tribe. See, tribalism is alive and well in every sector of the world. Tribalism is just what we do. We break ourselves into these little groups, and it's us versus them. It's the pack. We live in packs. We live in society. We live in these places, right? It's been that way since the beginning of civilization. We started to realize that when we band together and we create cities and small towns and plots and different things like that, we can then defend ourselves better, feed ourselves as a collective group better. We can come together and share technology, and you can also differentiate and spread out some of the talents you have amongst your group. Maybe somebody's a farmer. Maybe somebody is a person that knows how to fix things. Maybe somebody knows about tools. Maybe somebody is really good at protecting. He's bigger than people. Maybe somebody is good at organizing things in the town. Maybe somebody is a doctor. Maybe somebody is a religious leader. We found out very early that when you put yourself together and you get groups of people, you thrive better, you're safer, you eat, you grow as a culture. And so it's not no different than it is with Shedeur Sanders. It's no different than the Cleveland Browns fan base and the Cleveland Browns as a tribal organization. We are very skeptical. Arm's length. Who's trying to come into our tribe? Who's trying to come into our inner circle? And he could have wore a baseball cap, a visor, any of that, right? But you know what he told you? Whether y'all wanted it or not, I'm going to just keep showing up. Whether y'all know it or not, I'm going to just keep working. And whether you believe that you have an ownership base on the Cleveland Browns, you don't have a monopoly on what the Cleveland Browns are. Who's more invested? The fans or the guy that they gave a shot to? Huh? How you more invested than the person that drafted you. It's kind of hard to do. He put the helmet on to let people know, A, I'm still working. B, wherever I go, I'm representing the Cleveland Browns, and I hope he knows that and understands that. And C, I'm putting on. I'm putting on for the city. See, a lot of y'all think I'm trying to take something away from you. That I'm trying to say that it's just my camp versus yours. No, y'all don't understand. I'm putting on. Where I go, I'm trying to elevate the Cleveland Browns to a different level. And sometimes when you go to the different level, and when you getting around or you trying to bring a different level of different energy, you gonna have people in your organization that don't like that. You ain't gonna have that. Hey, you ever, watch this. You ever been getting in your diet bag? You just get, getting in your diet bag. Y'all keep rooting out there too, man. You know what I'm saying? We over here, G Bush over here on a plane. We got, hey, Dr. told me, pulled me aside. He said, hey, big fella, you doing way too much. You better start taking care of your health. I said, I got you, dog. I'm competitive. I'm gonna get it together. So, my wife got me on the extra strict diet. 4th of July wasn't even fun. Every time I turned around, she was just smacking me with a wood spoon. No. They had ribs. Couldn't even have none. They had the good ribs too, man. They had all this brisket. They had the pound cake. You know what I'm saying? They had the banana pudding. I'm telling you, it was crazy. I was just back in the back. It's just, my uncle, I was over his house. He had he got the big smokers. You know what I'm saying? I went back there. OG was back there cooking it. I couldn't even do nothing but smell the wood. Pause. I was just like, man. Every time I turn around, my wife was just peeking out the window. I'm like, where'd you find that window? No, you cannot have any food. But I'm just saying, have you ever got into your bag before where you on your up and up? You working out, you out here doing your thing, you done lost about 20 pounds, you consistent, you got your routine, you up in the morning. Anything you do past 2 weeks becomes a habit. You're feeling better than you ever have. You're moving, them jeans, you're working. I'm going out jeans, right? My going out jeans fitting good. Your shirt's laying a different way. People, every time you go to the groceries, hey man, what are you doing? Hey man, you looking good. And you get past about a month and you locked in. But then you start to go from that congratulations to the support to all of a sudden, it's what you doing now? You don't want to lose too much weight now, do you? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just doing my thing. Nah, you can come over here. You know what I had made in a long time? That 3-layer baked ziti lasagna. You don't know the lasagna you used to eat back in the day. That was your favorite meal. I just happen to have it whipped up over here. You're like, what the? Now you know good and well I could only eat salad. You're gonna whip up some lasagna baked ziti? And you know how they be telling you, yeah, everybody's ain't like this. I got about 7 cheeses in there. What? You gonna entice me with the 7-layer cheesy lips? This is your problem. This is the problem. See, sometimes when you get onto your grind and you doing something, after a while, people not gonna want to see you do that. They get tired of seeing you win. Because when you eating that lasagna, you done put that work in that for the months. You done got hay in the bar. You done got you got money in the bank because you consistent. You've been working. And it ain't the fact that the people that offers you all that good food don't love you, and that is your auntie, that is your grandmother, that is your mother. Might even be your wife. It's not that they don't love you. The fact that human nature is, I like you where we at. Human nature is, I like you beside me. If I'm gonna be big, my husband gonna be big. if I'm gonna be, I gotta wake up and roll out of the bed and say, I ain't trying to go work out. It's uncomfortable having a bunch of people that's working out around you and you know you ain't working out. It's human nature. Don't mean you bad people. So when you say Shedeur Sanders and you say I'm legendary, and this franchise ain't been legendary for how long? You can't even describe us as legendary. Now people start looking around. Who the heck you think you is? You gonna come around here talk about legendary? But for you, that's just your way of life. I'm used to winning. But you get here, it's put your head down. You don't know how much losing we done had. But just like when you're working out, which mentality you want? The person that ain't worked out in 4 months, or the person that been waking up every single day, getting out of bed, putting that work in and telling people, hey, we can get that. I know it's hard in the beginning, but we can get there. Trust me, it wasn't that easy for me to start losing these extra couple pounds today. I didn't just wake up today and be in shape. This is a long process. I'm going to wake up and it's a conscious decision that I'm going to think a certain way, live a certain way, watch a certain way, and have a mentality of certain ways. So people are not going to like that. They may not like the fact that, why are you out here showing people I'm working? Well, what's the opposite of it? Running around here letting you tell us that I'm not working? And I love it. You know how you hit back? You know how you hit back? You don't hit back and tell people, oh man, y'all was overreacting about traffic tickets. You know how you hit back? I love marketing too. You put that helmet on. You put that helmet on. You go to some random backyard. I don't know. He looked like he in the back of somebody's high school. In the middle of the night, put that Browns helmet on and be like, yeah, by you thinking that I'm about to back down and y'all done got in my head, write that. Write that. Step up pocket, write that. Yeah, where you at now? You on vacation. Yeah, it's a lot of people in the industry on vacation. I ain't on no vacation though. I love the energy level. Y'all want to write these stories. You know you on vacation right now. They're like, ain't nothing going on. You get away before the season starts. Just the media's vacation. Basketball season over. Training campaign started. Baseball is right now boring in Cleveland because we under 500. Everybody's like, yeah, man, Summer League, I'm about to just take off. 4th of July weekend is long. Yeah, let me show you I'm in the rain dropping dimes. I like that energy. Every time I drop back and drop a dime, I'm cooking. And by the way, don't tell me I can't be excited about what I'm excited about. I don't get up out of here with that. You can't, listen, because watch this. I don't play that game. I don't play that game. Here's the game I don't play. I done been up in here. I'm 43 years old. I done seen them coming. I done seen them go. I ain't as old as some people, but I be in the game. Die-hard fan. When they got Baker Mayfield and Baker Mayfield got into the camp, people was excited about him. Don't ask me to pipe. Calm down. Calm down. He's a 5th round boy. Like, you can't tell another grown man to calm down about somebody that they think can play football. Who you? You can't tell me to calm down about nothing. Zero. Calm down. There was people excited about Johnny Manziel, and he wasn't no good. There's people even excited about Brady Quinn. He wasn't no good. There was people excited about Deshaun Watson. The entire industry was. He turned out to be not no good. We'll see what's going on with the future. And by the way, I'm not the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. People be thinking that they be doing something when they be having these little arguments like you're going to just be quiet. Well, you said you liked this player 3 years ago and he's not. Well, So my job is to tell you how I feel about stuff. Their job is to pick the right player. Evidently, they didn't do it. Because if I was in charge, I probably would be thinking long and hard about some of these things, but I'm not. You know what I do? I talk about the way I feel at the moment. And you dumb if you don't change up when you get new information. See, this is a new generation of everybody doubling down. You fools out here, you guys is a new generation of doubling down on stuff. Why would you, as a thinking human being, with all your faculties, your eyes, your ears, your senses, why would you get new information, but you are so stubborn and egotistical that you can't see the forest through the trees? And you refuse to say, hey, look, I thought this, but this is not it. This ain't it. If you put a jacket on, right? If you're in the house, right? You're looking around. You know them days when the sun fool you in the fall and the winter. You look outside, the sun look like it's warm a little bit. You might be sitting inside and the sun hitting you a little bit. You're like, oh, look like it's kind of warm outside. You step your tail outside, you be like, whoa. This a whole new world out here. Like I'm singing, I'm Princess Jasmine. If you step out of the house and realize that it ain't 68 and it's 42, are you gonna double down on what you thought originally and say I'm gonna walk around outside without no coat on? Or are you gonna take the new information that you have been given by Mother Nature and God and say, get your so-and-so back in the house, get you a coat, or you're out of here? Of course, you're an adult. When you get new information, you change. Why would you pivot on something that you know ain't true? Just like sports. Yeah, if you was balling yesterday, I'm going to say you were balling. Why would I double down and say you're great today when you weren't great? And it's idiotic for people to be like, you guys flip-flop so much. I call it adapting. I call it getting new information, dog. Sometimes, like the doctor will tell you, hey, bro, you better stop eating all that food. You know diabetes running in your family. You know high blood pressure running in your family. Well, I got some new information. What you want me to do with it? Keep eating the same stuff that I'm eating or switch it up? But this is the double down culture. Everybody want to double down. We're going to double down on that. We're going to triple down. 1,200 people in here, wherever you at. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to Instagram. Nah, we ain't on Instagram. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to the Barber Shop, wherever you at over in the Barber Shop. And shout out to UCSS, wherever you at. Hit that like button wherever you're at. And share. Make sure you comment. I want all the comments. You know what I'm saying? That's how we get down. We got that Discord. But yeah, footage is out. We see that Shedeur Sanders is out here putting that work in. We see that he's out here grinding, doing what he needs to do. And for me, I'm excited about it because now we can talk about we locking in. We're getting to the point where now we are locking in. July is coming around. You got past the OTAs. You got past the mini camps. And this is the time that you talk about when you are a player. A player or a former player, you get the butterflies in your stomach. And the reason you're getting those butterflies in the stomach is because you know competition is coming. And like Coach Prime say, we coming. That war drum is beating a little louder. We coming. And this is the competitive nature that we need to see. Because when the pads get on, we talk about it all the time when you play football. When those pads get on, can't nobody save you out there. I always said, God is doing something somewhere else. He and trying to figure out what's going on in Afghanistan. He's trying to figure out what's going on with hunger somewhere. He don't care nothing about what's going on between those white lines. It's a game. All we pray, we say the Lord's Prayer so that we don't get hurt and nobody don't seriously go out there and die and do nothing of that sort. But other than that, nothing's guaranteed out there on that football field. And so you got to mentally lock in and get to a point where you're like, oh, no, I'm going to compete. And one of the things that people will try to do to you is they'll talk you out of a position in a heartbeat. You're a 5th-round pick. You keep saying 5th-round pick, 5th. Listen, I'm going in here to battle. 5th this. Ain't no, listen, ain't not, when you get into a place, and you go somewhere, tell me, I'm gonna ask anybody else out there, when you get hired at a job, when you get put on at a job, it don't matter who got hired first. No one says, hey, we hired Susie over there. We hired her first. So therefore, Susie is already going to be odds-on favorite to be the best employee. That don't work that way. You know why? Because Susie got to come to work. Susie can't be missing work. Susie got to perform. Susie got to pick up whatever they're doing the more. Susie got to do all the things that you got to do. So when we are sitting around talking about all this other extra stuff about this, that, and the 3rd, and the 5th, and the second, and this is why when we morph into this next conversation that we're going to have in terms of why is it like this? Why are we always using these literary narratives? We tell fairy tales. You know, fairy tales play a good role in life, right? They teach you parables, right? They teach you about things and bigger concepts so that you can, it's metaphors. It goes down a little easier, right? So I use metaphors and stories and fairy tales to tell you about hard work and perseverance and you know, the grasshopper. We all heard about the grasshopper and the ant, right? We heard about the grasshopper and the ant. The grasshopper is running around all summer, frolicking around, ain't putting nothing back, just eating up all the green leaves, right? But the ant, slow but does it. It's putting away stuff, getting food, putting it back, getting ready for the winter, in the summer. Hey, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. So then the grasshopper's just looking around like, man, I don't know why you working so hard. What you working hard so for? It's summertime. Enjoy yourself. Ant says, nah, you know, I'll catch you later. You know, I'll do a little something later on, but I got some stuff to do. Long story short, fall turns into winter. Grasshopper looking around. Where's this food at? Oh, it ain't summer no more. You ain't got no green leaves to eat. You put you something away. Nah, you was all your time at the pool, hanging out. But the ant, ready to go, got reserves. Winter is long. It teaches people, hey, you might want to have some foresight around stuff. They tell parables. Those things are there for you. But there's nothing that hits harder than actual reality. Right? You use parables for little kids because they can't understand big things. As a media and fan base, we shouldn't be around here using parables. We got the real thing sitting right there in front of you. And the real thing in front of you is, guess what? I can see who's throwing the ball better today. No metaphors, no similes. I can see who's dropping dimes today. I can see who has more, who's made bigger throws right now. Today, in real life. And at some point in time, as fans and media, we got to start talking about real life and stop depending on fairy tales and stories and myths and talking about all these other things when you are right where you are right now. Judge me on what I'm doing today. Don't judge me. Though when you come and you tell G. Bush, hey, G. Bush's bio is in 2019, he did. Listen, no, talk to me about what I'm doing right now. I just did a show yesterday. What you think about that one? Don't give me the 2017 noise. It don't matter what I did in 2017. It don't even matter what I did last week. It's about what I'm doing this week. So where I was taken, or why I didn't have no radio show before, or why didn't you have, I'm not sitting up here asking nobody, well, why didn't you have no radio show here? Why didn't they give you no chance? You know what I'm gonna tell them? It don't matter why. I'm him today. And right now, we're going to get an opportunity to show and prove who is him because the pads are coming. All that we can't understand because the pads are coming. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it because it's something that you can't control. Real, recognize real. All a man really want in life, all you can ask for when you sit down and you pray at night is give me the opportunity. And when I get that opportunity, I'm going to make the most of my God-given ability by doing what I need to do. That's it. You're not promised outcomes. You're not promised outcomes in life. That's just what it is. But guess what? Giving me my opportunity and getting there, that's all I can control. And I'm excited for it. Hey, Bill Prime said, we coming. The pads are around the corner. You can't be saved. You can't be tucked under the wing. Well, I thought so-and-so looked a little bit better. No. You know what is always already coming to? G. Bush got the credentials. I'm going to sip my coffee. It's getting spooky out here today. You know why it's getting spooky? Because I'm going to be at camp in the flesh. I'm going to be at camp. Me. Looking around. See, I ain't got to, right now I got to take your word for it. In OTAs, I had to take your word for it. I had to watch the footage. I had to look around and say, man, let me look over there and look over here, and maybe I can listen to this person. No. G. Bush in his glass is going to be front row and center at training camp. Oh, you thought I was playing? You thought I was, what do you mean he's at training camp? What? Huh. Yeah. We're there. And I'm going to be broadcasting live. I'm ready to go. Training camp. Yeah, I'm going to be with the boots on the ground. And then now I ain't got to talk to you about what you saw. I could come to you with my 30 plus years of experience and with my hand in the dirt and what I done seen and me breaking down the film, and I'm going to be front row and center like this. B-boy stance. Like I'm rapping. Yeah, I seen that. That's scary, bro. Y'all better tighten up. Y'all better. You did not want that. Y'all better tighten up out there. Y'all better come. You better get that trapper keeper. You better be taking notes, ready to go. Because when I come back and get a report, I'm gonna come back and get a whole thing. In detail, in color, vivid color. Shout out to the powers that be. I went and had a meeting with Dr. Claw. I said, yeah, what it's going to take to get me in the building? What's going to take? I need to be out there. I need to see it with my own two eyes. I don't want to learn from nobody else. I don't like that. I want to see it myself. Ready to cook. Woo! Yeah, boy. Yeah. Hey, get locked in. If you ain't part of the barbershop camp yet, get part of it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, because you want the real, right? That's what y'all was asking for. Y'all was asking for it. And shout out to y'all. See, I wouldn't be able to get no money off. Listen, it ain't me. It's the people. Shout out to everybody that pushed that. When I came on here a couple of weeks ago, in the beginning, I said, no, I need to be at camp. I don't like that. I need to be in the mix. You know what y'all said? Y'all got all in them comments. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We want to see what he's talking about. He keeps it honest and fair. We want him to be out there. They heard that loud and clear. So it ain't me, it's the people. Shout out to the people that entrust you. They entrust what you see, and you're going to keep it fair. See, I'm not no sucker, man. I don't do that other time. Listen, if I go out there and Dylan Gabriel was throwing ropes, I got to tell you he was throwing ropes. I got to. I'm married to the truth, married to whatever is on the field. That's the sanctity of the field. But you know how I feel, though. But if Shedeur is dropping dimes, your boy is going to let it be known. Loud and clear. Here's what we're going to do. Before we get to the next segment, shout out to my show. I'm proud that we dropped our first episode yesterday. Shout out to every single person that went and watched it. It's Top 5, my variety show with my two brothers. We started it from scratch, put our own money into it. We bought our own cameras. We edited our own film. We built a whole studio, and we did it painstakingly, brick by brick. And you know what? We appreciate everybody that went over there and checked it out. As a matter of fact, we just did our top 90 sitcoms. This is a clip from my show. And this is for the episode coming up this week. This is called the top 5 worst fast food restaurants. And let me set this clip up a little bit. My brother Bryson says, Subway ain't worth it. He says, G. Bush, Subway is not it. We'll see what he thinks.
Very pause-worthy restaurant chain. Very expensive lunch meat. Subway.
They try to tell you, oh, this is really healthy. This is healthy food here.
And we make it right in front of you.
You know,
Through the glass. You get somebody that put that joint in the toaster too long. Man, he's like, man, hey, I think it's done, dog. I think it's done.
I know there's a manager named Becky that said, guys, we need to be really getting more sandwiches out. When you put it in the microwave and you're toasting, be multitasking. You can get 3 to 4 sandwiches out.
And
meanwhile, your sandwich is in there dying. A slow death. My pepperoni classic. My spicy captain dead.
That pepperoni crispy.
Listen, shout out to my two brothers. Matter of fact, if you want to check that out, the episode's coming up here next Friday. You want to check that out, subscribe to the channel. It is a link in the description. Top 5. Make sure you go check that out. But listen, everything we saying is facts. Everything we're saying in that is facts. When I go to Subway, I tell them immediately, please do not toast my sandwich. I don't know what kind of nuclear fire they got in there. That bread at Subway, boy, you be like, no toast. Man, they used to have $5 footlongs. Them joints is like $12 now. And they don't be hitting like that. Make sure you check that out, man. Before we get to my second thought, let's get to some of your comments here. Get some comments, man. Let me make sure we get y'all together. Got to talk to the people. Cousin G. Bush pulling up because I know you visited start something and may need backup. Salute. I appreciate you, cousin. I appreciate you. We out here trying to do something on the 4th of July. I want to appreciate everybody who's pulling up on the 4th of July. Thank you guys so much, man. Carmel Howe, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. E-Unit. Get Kenny Pickett off this team, and this quarterback battle can actually begin. We all know what it is. Let me tell you about this E-Unit. People be thinking they be so slick. I keep asking people. I'm just looking for the Kenny Pickett highlights. Where are they at? I didn't see any in Pittsburgh. He doesn't have more highlights than Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel's cooking him. I don't see it. Where are the Pickett highlights? And this is why I keep talking about, we talk about narratives, right? Nowadays, you can just make it up, bro. Nowadays, you can just make up that Kenny Pickett is just the best available. How? Let me ask you this question. Why would they give you up if you was that nice? You just came from a Super Bowl team. You're the backup on a Super Bowl team. Why would the Philadelphia Eagles swap our quarterback that wasn't no good and a 5th-round pick for you if you was that nice? It's like, oh, sure, go ahead, do your thing over there. Do your thing, bro. No problem, no problem. No, we got it. Don't worry about it. No, don't even worry about it. Come on, man. And we wouldn't even have this backlash if it wouldn't even be no conversation if it wasn't the simple fact that people be doing this. Oh, yeah, I know. Kenny is definitely the prohibited favor. Why? Well, they picked him first. Oh, it's exhausting. Exhausting. I came up with a cheesecake narrative before. If I want to find the best cheesecake in the city, just because I went to one cheesecake place and purchased it first, then I went to another one and purchased it second. Then I went to another place and purchased it. I got 10 cheesecakes, right? I get down, I sit down, they blindfold me. I eat all of the cheesecakes 1 through 10. Does it matter in the order that I ate the cheesecake? No. What matters is which cheesecake is the best. No one says, well, I got to choose the number 1 cheesecake because I went to that store first. Got to choose that one. I chose it first. No, you chose to eat it first and you chose to purchase it first, but that has nothing to do with how edible and how good it is. You could have went to the last one, 10, and you get to the last time eating it, 10 out of 10, and you get there and be like, this is better than all them other cheesecakes I just ever had. Throw those away. Give me a whole cheesecake over there from this store. I don't understand why people can't. I don't understand it. They don't get it. Blessings upon you, G. Bush, for telling the truth. I believe teams are seeing Shedeur thinking, uh-oh, we made a mistake. Hoping to get him now. And let me tell you this too. I thought it was so wild. I almost brought back, I got a segment called Wild Tweets. Now watch this. Who told you this? At the beginning of it, Rev, they try to tell us, Shedeur might not even make the team. Huh? What you talking about? He ain't gonna make the team. Now all of a sudden, they see him cooking. Now all of a sudden, they cooking, and all of a sudden it's, well, they might keep all 4. You know why? Because I was right the whole time. Flacco and Shedeur was always on the train. Y'all try to act like it was Kenny Pickett that was derailing the whole situation. Now all of a sudden that you can see he could play and he could throw and that people's not backing off what they said. Now all of a sudden it went from, well, Shedeur might be the odd man out to now we need to make a roster spot so all 4 of them can stay. I think that's funny. Get ready. Shedeur Legendary 2. Sanders or Mr. G. Bush is coming. We showing up. Daryl, he's spinning. Now you gonna tell, thank you, Daryl. He's spinning that rock. Now what you gonna tell me? Well, I thought he wasn't throwing the ball that good. He has a decent arm. He doesn't have a Nate Edwards. People say that they can't wait for the pass. We know what Shedeur can do being most sacked 4K yards and 37 touchdowns. And if the offensive line can give him 4 seconds and 3-step drop, you can add another grand to that. 4 stacks. Man, let's get it. Selmo Fudd. I love that name, by the way. G. Bush will shut the fake news down and noise, and they putting out here all the time. Get that trash up out of here. This is the 216. Yeah. We're going to get to it, man. Hey, Ian Coleman, the new Barber Shop in Berea. Hey, I've been out there. I used to do the Barber Shop, the show live from training camp. I'm not new out there. But they was like, oh, G. Bush, he got his own little barbershop. He really ain't doing no radio like that, man. He ain't even gonna have no opportunity. Oh, my girl, what's up, Keena? You and your husband, your beautiful family. Went to high school with Keena. Shout out to y'all out there, even though you are a Toledo Rocket. Shout out to your mother. Love your whole family. Shout out what you're doing. And you do agree with Bryson. Listen. Subway. It's really expensive deli meat. You come out of there with a cold cut combo, it's $15. $15. Come on. Let me get to this. Let me get to this. Because I'm gonna wrap this in with what I was just talking about. I'm gonna give y'all this work on this one. So I need y'all, we're gonna clip it right here. I'm gonna break something down to you. And to help me break this down, I'm going to go to a clip here. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. I was on 92.3 The Fan with Jonathan Peterlin. And me and him was talking about something. Let me set this up. Jonathan Peterlin is a guy, he's a Shedeur Sanders fan as well. He was a guy who said he wanted him number 2. He had always beat the drum for Shedeur Sanders. He was on with another one of his hosts, and he was talking about it. And he said somebody had said they had soured on Shador Sanders. They had, thought about, well, maybe I was high on him, and now I'm kind of second guessing. And I'm guessing this came around the whole speeding thing, or then came around where he's not getting first team reps, or it came around all the hype and hysteria that people was trying to make it seem like people was in a cult or some sort, like they didn't Shador wasn't good, and they're just supporting him. I don't know why he's popular, all that good stuff. So Jonathan Peterlin says, how could any media member or fan sour on Shador Sanders and there hasn't been anything done? He hasn't played any games. And in practice, he's killing it with the 1 or killing it with the 3s or the 4s or the 2, whatever. He's not even getting first team reps. And people is upset about it. But the reps he's getting, he's balling. So how is it that you're soured on him when you haven't seen any sort of concrete evidence to say, oh, this is why I'm souring on the situation. This is why I can't do the Shedeur Sanders thing. And so I talked to him. We were having a conversation, and I was telling him, when I heard that on the radio, he was saying, it sparked something in my head. You know how I do. Because I try to understand human nature. I try to figure out why people think the way they do. Because I do see that. Not from everybody. But we are a different bunch here. The Browns media and our fan base, we're a little bit of a different bunch, right? They're my bunch. I love them. But you all got that family member that is kind of, And so this was my explanation because it just hit me. I'll be just, my intuition, it just comes and hits me like, boom. I'm like, that's what it is. You see, if you agree with me, we'll come back and listen to this clip. And we'll unpack this. But I think this is why we are where we are, where you get people that one person to say Flacco is great, one person to say Shador is great, one person to say it's Dylan Gabriel. It's one person that's over in the corner to say all of them is terrible. There's another person over there that just act like they don't like the brand. The conversation is all over the place in our market. Why is that? Here's my thoughts on the situation. It's to be something that is not revolved around actual action on the field. Like It's like, we use things like he's a 5th round pick or he slid in the draft or any of that. And I always thought that, yeah, that's great. He's a 5th round pick. But once you get here, it's about evaluating what he does in your jersey, right?
Exactly.
And I thought about it and I tried to figure out why a lot of people think that way. And I had to go back and say, the Browns haven't won anything since 1989. They haven't even won a division since 89. And I remember us talking about
the year I was born.
We used to talk about that on the pregame and postgame shows all the time. And what happens is there is a level of maturity that the media and the fan base gets to when you're covering or watching a team that has success, because you get to experience all the levels of maturity. You get to go from, hey, we drafted this guy. We saw what a successful quarterback looks like. We got a coach in here. We see what a successful coach looks like. We go through the process of saying, okay, well, now we're building, putting guys around. We lost in the first round. Oh, wow. Listen, we overachieved this year.
It's the crawl to walk to run. You're basically describing a childhood, right? You're from birth to then a toddler to then, and hey, you're in 5th grade. And then now all of a sudden you're in high school and then you're graduating college.
There it is. And so when all those fan bases, as they talk about certain things, they have of acquired knowledge of being around that team, so they know different points. And there's a maturity of the conversation what they're talking about. When you see the Chiefs, they're talking about nuances to the offense. They're talking about tweaking this here or there. They're not talking about whether somebody is good, period.
Yeah, they have daily conversations about their left tackle.
There it is. Things that are not overarching things. They don't have, hey, do we have the right owner? Do we have the right coach? Can we find a quarterback?
Yeah, because their main pieces are all in place.
They're there.
And that's the fun part, by the way, when you get to that spot, is that you do get to focus in on some of the other things that it's almost a luxury at sorts.
Yes.
Like, could you imagine having a knock 'em out, drag 'em out conversation about the little things that Chiefs fans get to have? It's very different.
It's a very niche argument. When you're in 2nd grade, obviously you love gym. Obviously, like, you love drawing and recess, and you get snack time, and you even get to take naps sometimes.
I still like snack time.
Look, it's beautiful. If you're in 2nd grade and you get held back again, and you're in 2nd grade the next year, you start to rethink some things. Like, hold on, like, this is cool, but I don't want to be in the gym class. I'm already bigger than everybody last year. I'm bigger than everybody now. And so the Cleveland Browns fan base, because there is no success, there is no growth, there is no other conversations with the media. We are perpetually living in 2nd grade forever. And now we are sitting here, we're 18 years old, looking around with a bunch of little kids, and our conversation has not evolved. Our frame of reference has not evolved. You know how frustrating it is that we are sitting here, and all of us, not just me, not just you, nobody has seen winners. Go back to 89. The team left in 95. They've been terrible since 2000.
Yeah.
So the people who saw Bernie Kosar be good, God rest their soul, most of them are no longer here. When you lose Jim Donovan and Jim Brown, and you start to be like, man, there's guys, when Joe Thomas has to have a hip replacement, that just goes to show you've been watching the same level of football forever. So when you have the conversation about whether a guy is good or not, or why there's such wild conversations between it's Flacco. Some people think it's Pickett. Some people think Dylan Gabriel's better. Some think Shedeur is better. No one knows who's going to start. Well, the reason you have that much variance is because we are all sitting here and we don't have any context. We don't have any experience with winning and knowing what it looks like, because those other teams know. See, when you break it down like that, you start to understand. You can see it. We're perpetually in 2nd grade having 2nd grade conversations. And remember what I said before about fairy tales and narratives and all these things. When you are in 2nd grade, people use fairy tales and narratives to give you context in the world. But as you get older, you get experience, real life experience. So you then see and can understand in real time, in real life, how you think about certain things, how you think at a different, deeper meaning behind things. And so when you're sitting here and we have not won a division championship since 1989, and you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers tear it down, build it up, and still be better than you, quarterback is great, retired. Ben Roethlisberger, 21 and something against you, 21-2, 21-3 against you. More wins than your quarterback has in his own home building, and he plays for the Steelers. You watch Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis and those guys in the Baltimore Ravens, who used to be the Cleveland Browns. They leave Cleveland, and by the year 1999, 2000, they are already Super Bowl champions. Let that sink in. 95, they leave. 99, they are Super Bowl champions. And you've been stuck in this era, stuck in this mediocrity, not even mediocre. The NFL is about parity, and you still can't get out your own way. And what happens is, when you get to a point, you're living so long in that dark pit, when you get out, it's like somebody being institutionalized. They start to think that being in prison is what life is living like. Instead of them hating that somebody tells them when they wake up, when they brush their teeth, when to eat, when to sit down. And when you get in there, it's a shock and you hate it. But then when you get in there so long, guess what? That becomes a way of life. That becomes what you believe to be reality. So your freedom, as you walk up and down the street, instead of it being freedom, it becomes fear. Why are they looking at me? Oh, gosh. Why is that person gonna run up on me? I don't know what to do with myself. I just feel like I'm overwhelmed. Put me back in that 3x2 cell. When you're the Cleveland Browns and you've been in the dark so long, how do you know what the light looks like? When you've seen bad quarterbacks play week and year after year and after year and over again, how do you trust your own eyes to tell you what a good quarterback looks like? If you couple that with the fact that they're not watching film, they're not breaking any tape down, they're not sitting with anybody doing X's and O's. So let me get this straight. You didn't watch him play in college. When I ask you, why don't you think he's good, you point to another person's opinion and say, I'm not an expert in that. I'm just take their word for it. And then you've never seen any good quarterbacks play. As a matter of fact, I can't even point to any in Cleveland. And it's different from looking at a quarterback from afar on another team successful than looking at the one you got right now. So if you've never seen a good quarterback play, you don't watch film or break it down, you have not seen the quarterbacks that you really are looking at now play in college, and now you dismiss what you see in plain sight, all in the sake of narratives. And that's how you get to a point where 5th round picks become the storyline. That's how you get where people get focused on 5th round instead of focusing on football. Describe the football. Describe the accuracy. Describe what's going on in front of you. But when you're in 2nd grade, it's kind of hard to express your feelings. That's why we have to have naps. That's why we have to have time out. Why that, there's expectations where, if you're bad, they take smiley faces off the board. And you get 5 smiley faces before there's consequences because you can't control your emotions. You don't know what's going on. And frankly, you're just trying to make it throughout the day without spazzing out. So they got to give you art. They got to give you recess. They got to give you story time. They got to give you music. They got to give you a bunch of other different things that don't have anything to do with math, arithmetic, reading, spelling, all of that. They give you other things on the margins to keep you focused for small groups and spots of time. We're going to go to music, then we're going to do spelling. Then we're going to go to recess. When you get back, then we'll do some geography. Then we're going to color. All in the meantime, all the other NFL franchises with the Mahomes and the Burrows and the Josh Allens and all of the Jalen Hurts and the quarterbacks that continuously lead their teams to playoff wins, the teams that consistently go about doing things, the teams that are now at a level where now it's like, oh, we got a quarterback and a coach. Now we're going to worry about the offensive line. We're going to figure out how we get past certain teams. You see, that's the older kids. That's called high school, and that's called where you don't have to talk about coloring or recess. See, in high school, they expect you to just go to class. You don't have gym or recess. As a matter of fact, if you don't want a lunch mod, you can just fill it up with classes. You're expected to go to class to class to class to class without breaks. You're expected to not have outbursts and talk through teachers' lectures or need a nap in the middle of the day. You know why? Because you're mature. You've been through it. There's an understanding level of what type of time we on. Here in Cleveland, we still in second grade, still talking about naps and recess, still talking about coloring and arts, because we're still talking about things that don't matter. We're still focused our energy on things that don't matter, that don't count. And that's where we are. And until the Cleveland Browns get to a point where they can start to put wins together, start to be functional, start to understand that, listen, sometimes you're going to slip up on something. It's the difference between the Cleveland Browns and the rest of the teams. The Cleveland Browns say he's a 5th-round pick. The San Francisco 49ers says he's a 7th-round pick. His name is Brock Purdy, and I think he can play. So we're going to replace the guy we spent 3 draft picks to get, Trey Lance. And we realized that Trey Lance wasn't good. So we're going to pivot and take the 7th-round kid, put him in and see what he does. That's the difference between us and them. Because they didn't say he's a 7th-round pick. They said he's the best option. They didn't say that whoever they drafted first has to be the guy that plays. No, they said, I have trust in my eyes, my evaluation, and what I see on the football field. Not fairy tales, horseshoes, golden clovers, unicorns. They look at what happens on the field, and they determine he's better than him. So we're going to play him no matter where we took him. There's levels to this. So when people ask, why does the Browns fan base do this? Well, I'll tell you, we haven't seen winners. People don't really be studying and putting no time in and look at nothing and no film work. They're not doing that. So if you don't know the film and you're not studying and all you've seen is bad football and you don't know what good football looks like, you're going to start talking about, can we all say it? 5th-round picks. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. I'm just a messenger. Don't be mad. Just saying. Let's get to your thoughts. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I was tripping. RC Chef. He is proud to be a Brown, and he's doing all the work necessary to not let the team in his adopted city down. I appreciate you, RC. We appreciate you. Great Devil 82. We are not dumb. Keep the truth coming, G. Bush. We appreciate you. Appreciate you, dog. Like that Yankees, too. That Yankees hat. Stefanski need to let Shedeur off the leash. Put him in attacking mode with his winning mindset. We ain't taking for Arch Manning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Andrew Berry's on the hot seat. Neil Gray, let me dive into this real quick. Let me get to this real quick. 1,900 people in here on the 4th of July weekend. I like that. Y'all tapped in. I like that. We ain't taking for Arch Manning. See, I'm the one calling it out. Under no circumstances, and remember where you heard this here first. And so you have to preemptively do this type of stuff, or people will try to play mind games with you a little bit. Under no circumstances is Shedeur Sanders, if he's going to be the last man up, because there's an option for that. Understand that there's an option in the deck where Dillon Gabriel gets the first opportunity to play over Shedeur Sanders. In the case that Flacco or Dillon Gabriel play before Shedeur Sanders, I don't want to hear no noise, no energy, none of that. And he play 4 games and talk about, because here's what's going to happen. The goal, and this is how people do. Oh, we're going to play him 4 games. And in that 4-game process, it's not enough time to either evaluate whether he's good or evaluate if he's bad. It's going to be inconclusive. What they'll pivot to then is, well, if it was inconclusive, there's no way that you can pass on a generational type quarterback. There's no way you could pass on generational X, Y, and Z. And by the way, that will change whatever happens. By the way, look, most people are going to tell you that any of the 5 or 6 names that they cook up next year are already better than Shedeur Sanders. So you're gonna be like, dang, G. Bush, you was right. Dang, I can't believe it. Yeah. Whether it don't gotta be Arch Manning. I did a blog on Ultimate Browns. Make sure you check that out. That said Cade Klubnik was the first overall. Now, I done watched Cade Klubnik play a lot. Nothing about this man's game says number 1 overall pick. He's a good quarterback. But he not, I mean, it looks like it's a variation of Jackson Dart. But they didn't already put it there. Drew Aller. What are you talking about Drew Aller for? Why? Because he from the area? I watched him play against Notre Dame and couldn't complete a pass. Period. But they'll say that Shedor's completion percentage, that don't count for nothing. It's so easy for people to dismiss and approve certain things. So here's the thing. They need to be talking about this. You need a body of work. You need a large sample size. Shedeur Sanders should at least be playing 8 to 10 games this year. Because the point is, this is how bad organizations do stuff. You figure out if you got a quarterback, and instead of burning picks, lighting picks, and throwing them in the air, have a plan. If you thought that you were, and this is the thing, if you thought that Shedeur Sanders was not a guy that you wanted to pick and it was worth it, and if you thought Dillon Gabriel was a guy that you was just taking so you can appease people, so you can fast forward next year to get to the next year, why'd you draft him then? I would rather you just not draft him and say, my plan is I like this guy in this draft, and my plan is X, Y, and Z. I might not agree with it, but at least I can say he's standing on what they standing on. Right now, what plan is that? I'm not about to sit here and watch Flacco play 5 games and Pickett play 6 games and Dillon Gabriel play 5 or 6 games, and then Shedeur, you gonna act like this was the tryout. That is not a tryout. It's not a tryout. Because in that case, that means he probably is not going to get any first-team reps during camp. That means you let all 3 of those quarterbacks, 2 of them that you know aren't going to be on the roster next year, go ahead of him. For what? Then you had Dillon Gabriel go, right? So then we get to Shedeur Sanders. He plays 4 games, and then you want to play these little games like you gave him an opportunity or the shot was there. He just didn't take an example. If he was good, he would have been able to just be in there like, no. We're not going to do that. And I'm letting you know what the game plan is. And I'm going to be pushing back at it a lot. There's a reason why I was upset. I said, they're going to take a defensive tackle. And what did they do? You got to know him from afar. So my thing is, no. I'm not about to lose no games. If it was me, I'm playing rookies. I don't care nothing about, I'm just be honest with you, because I need to know whether or not I could, if I got a first round draft, I got 2 first round picks. How great would it be if you find out that you got a franchise quarterback and he's a rookie, and you can actually take one of those 2 draft picks of next year and actually make the roster better? Like, let me go ahead and get me a receiver. Let me go ahead and I could take the best available. I might be able to get another. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But you would rather not see what you got, force yourself to take another first round pick, then have to mortgage both picks to even get up to where you need to get said quarterback. What? Boy. Neil. G. Bush, why reporters talk about tanking to get a quarterback out of college next year? What quarterback in next year's draft is better than Shedeur when none of them were better than Solo? Now, what you need to understand is you need to stop making sense, my good sir. Why are you trying to come up here and make all that good sense? I said that I was saying this the other day. Where's these new quarterbacks they was getting off from Jupiter? Let me do the math on this. So hold on. So Shedeur came out this year. Shedeur was playing last year. So Arch Manning was playing in college football, right? Doggone shame. He couldn't even be out Quinn Ewers at the bench last year. Quinn Ewers is like a 6th or 7th round pick. Couldn't beat him out, and he was hurt. By the way, people were talking the year before about tanking for Quinn Ewers. I thought Drew Aller played in the same. Didn't he play last year? Numbers weren't the same. He had much better talent too, but all these quarterbacks played last year. If they were so nice, why are they not in this draft? If they were so nice, we're going to lose all our games, not play the quarterbacks we got now because we don't want to rush them in there. We don't want to. That's a lie too. All that rushing them in there stuff, that's called shot clock violations. Y'all be playing these Jedi mind tricks. People telling we don't want to rush them in there. No, I actually would like to rush them. Because what I want to do is I want to play them against guys that are good. I want to see what they can do against Baltimore. I want to see what they can do against Pittsburgh, because that's actually how you see if someone's good, right? But what you'll do is say, don't play them against good competition. And then at the end of the year, when they play competitions that's not as good and people aren't playing, or people are injured, or people are banged up, or half the offensive line is done, or half the receiving core is injured, or then you're going to tell me, well, he didn't look that good. Or if he do look that good, it was against people that weren't playing. They had nothing to play for. G. Bush, why would you? Yeah, Cass is funny. Who would Andrew Berry's replacement be if this season blows up? That's a good call. What up, Greg? What up, Cuds? This is wild. I wouldn't know. I don't have a short list. This is the catch-22. You bring up a good point. Because as I've always thought, the game plan is different based on who you talk to. Andrew Berry keeping his job is not necessarily the same protocol as Kevin Stefanski keeping his job. Let me explain. The thing about Kevin Stefanski is it seems like the Game of Thrones. Kevin Stefanski has more goodwill. If you ask the fan base, they say Stefanski or Berry, pick one. 90% of the fan base is going to say Stefanski. Know why? even though it may not be necessarily that true. Stefanski has awards. They give out awards all the time for executives. Andrew Berry has none. Andrew Berry also has some very glaring things, like Jed Wills, top 10 pick, bust. He keeps drafting defensive tackles, and they're not doing anything. He has his track record with receivers is atrocious. The best players that we've had come from the other previous regime. So it's nasty work. He actually, to be truthful, and he not really smart about it, all of them is silly. If Shedeur Sanders hit, that saves his job. Okay, if Dylan Gabriel hit 2, that'll save his job too. But what are you doing? If I'm the general manager, I'm in on that. Because he thinks that somehow, I don't know why, that he has this cachet built up where if they take these L's this year and they tank to get another quarterback out of the college, why would I trust you to pick said quarterback? You didn't develop the 2 quarterbacks that you got now. You didn't even try. You didn't get the best out of Deshaun Watson. Baker Mayfield played for somebody else, but he never threw for 4,000 yards for you. Where y'all act, my problem is they act like they playing with house money. And my other problem is the media trying to gaslight you, trying to act like that they ain't got like they completely have nothing to worry about. Why are we talking like everybody? This is my thing too, and I'm the only one saying it. If you said it out there, please don't be offended. I said that at one time, but you ain't say it like this. If you telling all these quarterbacks need to be up for a competition and they need to earn this reps, earn these reps, earn this, earn that, you better earn your keep. I'll be cracking me up. People be talking about what you gonna earn. You need to earn your game plan. You act like you wasn't 3-14 last year. Talk about you gotta earn it. No, bro, you might want to earn it. That'd be cracking me up when you be part of a terrible organization. Like, that's another thing too, bro. It is what it is. But I got pride in what we doing. But the Browns have been terrible. And it's my team, and I like them, but they've been terrible. But don't be running around. People got this high hope. They so up in the clouds like you didn't win any games last year. You didn't win no games. And by the way, you people talk about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was done after 6 games. What did you do the rest of the 11? You talk about people. I listened to the conversation. Mary Kay had a conversation or whatever she said that in her article that the Cleveland Browns weren't thrilled that Deshaun Watson wasn't around during his rehab. That's my problem. That's that second grade stuff again. Not saying anything about her being a second, none of that. I'm just saying the conversation around the Cleveland Browns revolves around things that don't matter. My problem is that you talk about they weren't enthused that he wasn't around. They should be running around trying to win football games. What are you not enthused with? That's crazy to me. You 3-something. You got opportunities to win football games, but you got coaching staff members in front office talking about somebody that has a torn Achilles heel that has to have surgery and it's not playing. It's next man up, bro. But you're still trying to look around for somebody to blame. Get your ass together and win some games. Stop blaming people and get hard on yourself. You lost 11 games after that. You gave up the playbook to Dorsey after that. You had 11 opportunities to win after that. And people was running around here trying to point fingers. It was on him the whole season. The whole season went down the drain. That's a loser mentality, and it's a sucker mentality. All them dudes got an opportunity to get out there and do what they need to do. Feed their families and make plays. But instead of making plays, you make excuses. And every single year, just because we like the team and we like the people around, I'm not making no excuses for you, bro. You was 3-14. So stop trying to sell me like we got all of this in place and everything is moving. We don't got nothing moving. And everybody better be working for their job. Talk about all that extra stuff. You got to earn it. You need to earn it. Again, let it sink in. 1989 is the last time. Now, I didn't ask you to win the championship. I didn't ask you to win the Super Bowl. I didn't say go to the AFC Championship. I said it's the last time you won the division of 4 people. You can't be the best out of 4 people in 30 years. You can't be the best out of 4 people. Not the whole nation, not the whole city, not the entire Milky Way. You got to beat the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals. You have not won your division since 1989. But we telling other people to earn it. Boy. When Shedeur said it, if you want to win and change the culture, then I'm your guy. He meant it. The Cleveland media will understand that he is him. I hope he is too. The 5th round argument is BS. Why do they spend so much time with Shador Sanders if they felt that way prior to the draft? Lies. No one talked about DG at all. Go back and check my little, what's the name, trailer out. Bianca. Go check my trailer out. Check my short. Y'all can say I'm a conspiracy theorist to start with. This has all been orchestrated. It's all been orchestrated. Cleveland Browns were punished because they took Deshaun Watson and gave him a guaranteed contract. Until the Haslam's apologized, which they did in public, they were no longer in good graces from the NFL. They said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You apologize for it, we'll move on. We're going to help you recoup some of that. They said, what you talking about? Shedeur going to slide. We're going to slide. Ain't nobody else taking him. They've already made that decision, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns will get him, and they'll give him in the 5th round. It's already written, and it's already been established that they went out to visit and spend time with him. Why would you do that if he's a 5th round, if you had him 5th round on your board? You don't do that. People don't go out and spend time with 5th round picks all that time because you could get him in the 5th or 6th, right? There's no urge. You know what it is. But the league said, he's going to fall. We could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll humble Shedeur Sanders. We'll say, hey, listen, hey, Prime, you are not the Mannings. We're going to make sure that you understand certain things. And then guess what? Cleveland Browns got Shedeur Sanders still in the 5th round. He's making pennies on the dollar. And guess what? That little thing about Deshaun Watson and the cap and all that other stuff. Well, you don't have to worry about the cap if you're not playing your starting quarterback any money anyway, do you? You keep Deshaun Watson on the team and guess what? They say, hey, Deshaun, you're going to play football. You're going to play ball too. So here's how the council going to handle this. We understand what we had to make an example out of you, but it's all business. It's just business. We had to make sure no other teams is going to give out these guaranteed contracts. But you, sir, all you got to do, be a good soldier. Browns may need to extend you a few times, open up some cap space. You know, you weren't around the team before. Hey, come in and mentor. All of a sudden, the stories is coming out. Oh, Deshaun Watson's been great mentoring the young guys. Come in and mentor, rehab, do your thing. And then what we'll do, we can help rehabilitate your image, and the council will give you another opportunity somewhere else, right? So this is how we're going to clean this up a little bit. We'll get you together. But you, hey, got to play ball. Don't be running around here talking about starting. Don't be running around here talking about all this other stuff that you plan on playing, all that. No. Be cool. We'll let you continue your career somewhere else. We can't take the contract from you, but that's how we're going to move with it. And that's how we clean that up. Now, it's been documented that they already been colluding. They didn't already sent the emails around talking about we colluded. And by the way, they buried that story. They buried that story by having a Justin Tucker story out after that. Mike Florio even said they buried the story. He said, it's funny how ironic that Justin Tucker's story came out right the day after my story about collusion. Oh, and by the way, there was no counsel needed for Justin Tucker's case. He said, the league said, hey, what you're going to do is you're going to plea bargain. Before we even need to go to that, we're going to decide, arbitration. We'll decide that you get 10 games. You won't get as many as Deshaun Watson, but you're going to get 10. Story came out. You haven't heard about collusion anymore, have you? I'm just telling you how it is. People talk, tin hat foil G. Bush. Listen, I told you about the collusion before. I'm just talking. Just talking a little bit. Yoshi Doshi 2006. I've seen his first team reps, long touchdown to Judy. People are now talking about Shedeur starting early. My opinion, he'll just be ready. He's ready to be let off the leash. I see y'all been talking. Hey, they talk about letting him off the leash. Talk about letting him spin it. Solo Zeke says Browns don't want to win for real. Knowing they could have had Travis and Shedeur could have been. Woo! I don't stop telling me about them. Don't you do that to me. I'm just now getting over that. It's like, hey, you ever have an ex and you going through it and you be like, man, I was just getting over talking to you and you just gonna pull up, talk about, hey, just checking on you, seeing what you're doing. Checking on me. Stop calling me too. Gee, why isn't the media talking about getting weapons with the 2 first rounds next year? None of these QBs will with only Judy to pass to keep cooking. Because G. Bush is bad back. Let me tell you about this. Again, you'll go back to it. Sometimes we're talking about the conversations when you're in second grade. Have you ever noticed that kids only talk about 2 or 3 things when you get older, or when you're younger? They talk about 2 or 3 things like cartoons and fruit snacks and playing. Like that's all you know. That's your whole universe. So for the media, we are talking about 2 things. We talk about quarterbacks and we talk about is the coach or the owner good? That's it. We're in second grade. We can't think past anything else. We're still stuck in the mud to a point where we believe that receivers are a luxury, not a necessity. We're still to a point where we're so old school thinking that play action is somehow a play. Play action is not a play, dog. Play action is a style. We are to the point where we still think all receivers are divas and that we could get a bunch of guys that are rudimentary, solid guys that run 4.6s and we'll be okay. Again, when you don't elevate and don't understand, the next point is once we see that we have a quarterback, again, it's the analogy with school. Then we'll start to elevate when we start to see our franchise quarterback don't have help. Then everybody will clamor and say, oh my gosh, we don't have anybody to throw the ball to. Oh my goodness, we don't have receivers like that. And then you're like, yeah, I told you that for the last 7 years. If you would have prioritized finding out if you have a quarterback this year, guess what you could do next year? Take those picks and build around said quarterback that you found out about this year. But instead, you're backwards. You want to fast forward this year, not get any information on what you're doing, and then go into next year and do the same thing over with another quarterback and tell us that this is going to be greater because this next quarterback is the Messiah. That's why. Oh, no, not trying to get you in too much trouble. Adam Schefter, sorry about never tweeted about collusion. That was a 40 and slip. Mike Florio. My good sir. Yeah. Mike Florio talked about the collusion. And yeah, on Pro Football Talk. So yeah, you are correct. That is not Adam Schefter never talked about that. Appreciate you for definitely correcting me on that. I only talk three things now: football, money, and beer. Oh man, you funny, man. You guys are funny. Let's get to this real quick. Let's get to this. Speaking of funny, talk a little hoops. Talk a little hoops. Where am I enjoying that? Your boy LeBron, is he flirting or is this what this mean? LeBron James been spotted everywhere in the community, in the streets. Bron in the streets. He been here all 4th of July. He been making his presence known. First and foremost, let's start with this. He's been cited. LeBron James working out at Cavs practice facility. Now, first and foremost, I don't know how you get that off. I can't just pull up at the old facility and get my money off. He says he's there all the time. He says he has a house in the area. He always does this. I get it. I think this is I don't know who this is. Maybe this is a kid that goes to one of his academies that he was playing with, practicing, lifting weights, training with. Funny story. This is Allie Clifton, used to be pregame, postgame host, right? LeBron says proper attire. He comments on Allie Clifton wearing a Brian Cavs jersey, right? He says, okay, that's a little something too. Proper attire. Why ain't the Lakers proper attire? Why ain't that proper attire? Also, rumors of LeBron James golfing in Northeast Ohio circulated the morning, and now he posts himself wearing a welcome home. LeBron 2025 watch is on. As you see, LeBron is not new to this. He's true to this. He's done this before. Remember, he made the comments about LeBron James and being the Cavs had four All-Stars. I include myself as an All-Star. Remember before LeBron James was sitting there courtside watching the Cavs and brought Savannah back and standing ovation and all that good stuff. And of course, LeBron James says, hey, Rich Paul is talking about this. Rich Paul is saying, LeBron he wants an opportunity to win. Luka is there, and LeBron wants to make sure that the Lakers are doing everything that they need to be doing to getting this thing done. Is this smoke or is it fire? We got to talk about it, and I did talk about this. Let's take a look at this in terms of what's going on with LeBron James and what's popping off. Because people is randomly talking about this. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. I was on Jonathan Peterlin. We talked about it. The rumors, if the Cavs are in the mix, do they got enough leverage to get him? Do they got enough ammo to get him? New York Knicks are rumored to be in the mix. Things of that sort. Things are heating up. Where do I stand on it? How do I think about it? Well, gotta wait to see. Let's get to it. This is me and Jonathan Peterlin talking about the same situation. This courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. The first time he's actually feeling what it feels like to not be in the inside crew, not to be the guy, not to be, all right, we got to figure out everything is running through LeBron and figuring out what we want to do. And on top of that, the Busses who own the team, they've sold the team. There's a new general. There's a new feeling in town.
Which I maintain he doesn't have to have as much loyalty now because he did everything for Jeannie, and now Jeannie's out the door, so you don't really owe the Lakers that much.
Right. So now
Lakers also don't owe you anything anymore either.
I think both sides are like, okay, it was cool. I was last year. You did bring us a championship. It is what it is. But we got Luka now, and we're going to build around him. So we're going to ask him the stuff. So I think he is in a little bit of a position where he's like, man, this is kind of weird a little bit. If you're telling me that you would trade LeBron straight up for Karl Anthony Towns, you wouldn't do that?
I like Cat, but obviously you trade LeBron for Cat if that's the going rate. I don't even think it would be that, though. I think it'd start with like Mikal Bridges, and then you work your way downward.
Yeah, and he said OG Anunoby and maybe some other things, but I mean, there's infrastructure.
But think about it, though. Think about it. Like we talk about the Knicks pieces and what they would send over, and then we bring up the Cavs pieces and what we would send over. If it's Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and then either one of DeAndre Hunter or Max Strus, are we letting that stand in our way? Because I'm not.
No. He threw out a package of Jared Allen and DeAndre Hunter and some other guys at the bottom of the roster would have to move before they can even make the move because they're in the second apron. But if it's DeAndre Hunter and Jared Allen, I'm like, all right, then I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all good? Listen, I pack their bags up. Mm-hmm. And you talk about it. And he says there, and I thought that was one of the best sound bites. He says, you put those four guys together, and you got Evan Mobley, you got LeBron James, Darius Garland, and Donovan Mitchell. He said that's the best four players in the game. That's the best four.
I mean, it's not even close.
It's not even. So
that's a real core four. We stretched out the core four a little bit, not like Jared Allen, but that's a real core four.
And if you still got Lonzo Ball that you got Larry Nance Jr., and you still got Max Strus and some of the other guys, I mean,
but I don't even need to get all Greedy Williams on anyone here. I really don't. Like, no. I don't need Darius to be involved in this in order for it to be a yes or a no.
Yeah.
If Darius is part of the package, then Darius is part of the package.
It is what it is. I've looked at it, and here's the thing. I get the thing being people telling me I'm the Darius Garland hater in the city. I'm not a Darius Garland hater. I'm just giving you the math. Darius Garland is a smaller guard. He's a very, very good player. He is. He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not Kyrie.
Right.
He's a very good player. Does he get picked on defense? Yes. Is he?
Yeah, I mean, dead bodies move around him when he's playing defense.
Yeah. Is he? People say,
does he get injured often? Yes, he does.
Yes. Does his maturity is that brought in question sometimes? Sure. But he's a very good player. But if it takes getting LeBron James, the thing that the Cavs are missing is the exact thing LeBron James brings: pressure and the willingness to be like, hey, this is how we're going to make this work. And then tough. And as courtesy of 92.3 The Fan, shout out to Jonathan Peeler, and I thought that was we had a good conversation about it. One of the things that I look at is when you're saying this, you're like, hey, look, I get it. I get it when you talk about LeBron James. I understand what it is. But when you're talking LeBron, does it move the needle for the Cavs? If it's Jared Allen and DeAndre Hunter, yeah. If it's Darius Garland and Jared Allen, yeah. The thing about LeBron is we don't get it, and this is tough sometimes, and I don't understand people get it. There's a thing in Cleveland where we've won with LeBron, and I think everybody feels like, okay, well, we want to win without LeBron. Well, listen, man, I don't want to break the news to you guys, bro, but I don't really care nothing about that, like winning with or without. That's like saying I want to work for all of my money. I want to work till I'm 65 to earn $1 million over my entire work career. Or I just won the lottery. Bro, I'm going to take winning the lottery. Like, I don't really need to have the fulfilling need of saying I work for my money. Hey, I would love to be a trust fund baby. I would love for my dad to leave $1 million to me in some sort of fund over here where I could get it when I was 18 rather than working for 60 years. Why would you care how you get the championship? I just want the trophy. And the thing about LeBron James is he's still a top 10 player. He's still averaging 25, 8, and 8. He's still LeBron James. And when you take a look at what LeBron brings to the table, it's this mentality and knowing that when you need to have it done in the playoffs, he's there. LeBron has never been majorly injured. He don't have no injuries. You don't got to worry about him sitting no playoff games out. As a matter of fact, he's never even had a major injury. As a matter of fact, Darius Garland has had more injuries than LeBron. There's this thing where people they're trying to prove a point. Like, you better because you won without somebody else. I want to do it my way. That's why I always tell people want to win only on comfortable standards. People want to win what they who they can identify with. People want to win when the odds and the all of the surrounding things are in their favor. They don't want to win at all costs. They want to win with the people that I'm comfortable with, the people I identify with, my plan, the way I vision it, the way I see it, the way I want to do things. But some people, the true winners, the true champions, are willing to win at any cost. People talk about windows. How good are windows right now? I just saw the Boston Celtics get ripped apart. I saw the Boston Celtics out of here. And they was just champions last year. The way the new apron worked, how long are you going to have a window anyway? And what is a window? Because I just saw the Celtics just lose that window in 2 seconds. Are you going to be able to keep Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell together anyway? No, not necessarily. You got a 2 to 3 window anyway. So if I got a 2 to 3 year window, I like my window with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and LeBron. And DeAndre Hunter. I can start, think about that. I can start Lonzo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, your boy, DeAndre Hunter, LeBron at the 4, and Evan Mobley at the 5. I still bring Max Strus off the bench, Larry Nance off the bench. I'll take it. I'll take it. At the end of the day, I'll take it. Because let me tell you this, and if LeBron, if you're listening, finish your breakfast, dog. I personally think that you're the best player of all time. But these dudes out here, they're always going to keep you under the thumb. They got you up below Kobe now. Out in LA, they're not going to respect you. I got an LA hat on right now. Listen, you'll never be in the top 5 in LA. You'll never be higher than Shaq, Magic, Jerry West, Kobe. But guess what? You got an opportunity to win a couple rings. Look at the East. Wide open. You come right on over here and walk right to the finals. All you got to do is figure out how to stop SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Unless you done winning rings. Because I feel like you can get 2 more. And Dan Gilbert, I know you want to win one without him. But at the end of the day, take the free money. You got an opportunity to do something here. If y'all smart and come together, y'all can figure it out. Is LeBron coming back to Cleveland? I don't know. You know, he gets kind of in his feelings. He's emotional sometimes. And I just think he's kind of a little upset that they're building around Luka. But if you get too excited, too angry, you know where to find us. I want to throw this out there really quickly again. We got one more segment because I promised you I was going to get to it. And we're going to get to that coming up now. But before I do, let me throw this one out here too. Making sure you guys check it out in the description right now. Do it for me. If you're watching wherever you are, in the description, top 5, subscribe to it. We got a great show. We got the first episode out right now. It is the top 5 sitcoms and TV shows of the 90s. Coming up next week, this is the episode that we got cooking up for y'all. Top 5 worst fast food chains. Let me set this up. My brother Trent, he's a big dude. He got in his feelings, bro. He wanted these sauces bad, bro. He has a problem with the sauce policy. We had to get him together. This is a little clip from the episode coming up next week. Make sure you subscribe to it.
Stepping in my office. We got some things to talk about now. The thing is, y'all better stop taking stuff off the menu. What is y'all doing? What is y'all doing?
I have a problem with me pulling up on you, and I ask you for a couple of wings. You tell me that it's going to be a 30-minute wait for chicken. But I will tell you this. There's something about the gravy on the mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh, man. You can drink that with a straw.
That's kind of wild.
And you can have a real nice dinner with your girl.
First of all, I don't like how you say it real nice like that because it insinuated that you just wasn't eating it.
No, we got original recipe, but we only got breasts right now. That's it.
No wings.
We ain't got no wings. Can I give you 2 drumsticks and the rest in strips? What? How are you?
You still gonna charge me the same price for that?
You know, it's crazy. I remember getting that same deal like last week. Facts. We had all been there. Listen, you go to KFC. How do you run out of chicken, fam? And then they be like, yeah, let me give you this deal. You like, what deal? Like they just mix and match because they ain't got it? You just mix and match because you ain't got it? I don't know which clip this is, but we'll play it. I mean, Taco Bell is a staple, especially they was one of the first restaurants that's open late. I don't understand. What are you eating at 3 a.m?
I'm telling you, listen, you go in there depending on what Taco Bell you going to. Like you said, you don't know who working in the back, boy. Yeah, you get a soft shell taco with no meat.
What?
It just have lettuce and cheese.
This cat Trent, man.
I'm telling you,
Bryce,
bro.
He acts like we was apart from him. We are brothers. Yeah. Where was he turning down any soft shell tacos?
None.
Oh no, I didn't turn down none. Ever. That's why I knew it was meat missing in some of them.
First off, these got to be solo trips.
Listen, that's 2 times for you. That's 2 times already for you. Make sure you go check that out, man. Make sure you'll get to that, man. Subscribe to that top 5. We got that coming up. Worst fast food restaurants coming up. Doing our thing. Let's get to this. Because I did tease it and I want to get to it, and I was going to get to this the other week. I got to get to. One of the things that has been frustrating with the commentary that I see is when we talk about this all the time is we're playing this game with these sources now. And we playing the game with these sources, and it's getting to a point where it's like, when are we going to call this out? Because I'm going to give you a little insight to this. It don't be no sources like that. It don't be no sources like that. When you start talking and you start having these conversations about, hey, my sources inside tell me so-and-so is going to start. My sources is telling me so-and-so is starting next week. My sources is saying that, nah, Flacco's actually really the guy that's in there. Nope. My sources are saying that Kenny Pickett. All sources aren't created equally. You could be talking to the janitor, the parking attendant, the secretary on the second floor. You could be talking to a bunch of people. And the thing I be getting at is, and I'll be listening to it, and I always say this, the game is different now because a lot of the players is at arm's length distance from a lot of people that's reporting stuff. And a lot of times they just be like, nah, I'm not talking to you. I'm not going to, I don't do local interviews, or I'm not going to say anything. A lot of times nowadays, people want to be in a safe space. Somebody asked me this question. Is actually why I'm doing this topic, because they said, you know, G. Bush, why do you think it's so many varying degrees of how people talk about stories and things like that? And I said, the reason there's so many varying degrees in how people report stuff is like this. What is something that's your opinion, or what's something that you've been told? What's fact or what's fiction? And sometimes when we're talking about this stuff, people's opinion is wrapped up inside something that is being presented as, oh, I got these sources. And so when you start to talk about the game in general, when you start to talk about media and journalism and how we go about covering certain things, you have to ask yourself, how easy is it to do this? Well, I got a source that said this. My source says it's easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. And I'm not saying that everybody is doing this, but what you do have to realize is there's a level of scrutiny that you have to put on certain things. Because what if I just came on here and said, sources inside the building say Shedeur Sanders is going to be the odds-on favorite to start next week? How you disprove that? How would you go about saying if that was true or false? You really couldn't. because the options of me telling you who I talk to are slim to none. So we're not going to, no journalist reveals his sources. In old school journalism, you used to have 2 to 3 sources to corroborate everything that you said. 2 to 3. And it had to be varied. Do you run with one source now? How high does the source have to be? Back in the day, you used to have editors. The editor, you might run a story and run it, toss it to the editor and be like, well, yeah, no, I don't like this. This is too vague. We need more concrete. I don't feel comfortable running this. Editor say, I don't feel comfortable running this because it ain't got enough sourcing in it. Toss it back to you, then worked on the story for 45 days. Nowadays, the game is different. Now it's like, yo, you just come out and talk. Now the lines is blurred between regular journalism or who's telling you this stuff. And I had to start talking about this conversation because we had to get to a certain thing. And I couldn't get to it like I wanted to a couple of weeks ago because the traffic thing came up. I had a problem with the way people have started moving the goalposts and started talking about why it was that Shedeur Sanders was not getting first team reps. Oh, because he's not learning the playbook. Who told you that? Oh, he doesn't, because there were some things, Dylan he killed his pre-draft, situation. That's why he got picked 3rd. And now Dillon Gabriel, he knows he's picking up the playbook. He's a savant. Who told you that? Well, Shedor's on the other field because he's not picking the plays up correctly. Well, hold on. Let me give you this though. So let me get this straight. So when they're on the other field, right? When they're on the other field with the 3s and 4s, are they calling the same plays as the 1s and 2s? Yeah. So if he doesn't know his plays with the 1s and 2s, why would he automatically know the plays with the 3s and 4s? But if he's completing the football and can get in a huddle with the 3s and the 4s, right? Why is on the other end of the spectrum, does he forget the plays from walking from that field to this one? So as he leaves and comes from the 3s and 4s to the huddle with the 1s and 2s, does he forget the play call? Is it different? No, there is no difference. They're calling the same plays. They're all learning the same plays. If you can call the plays with 3s and 4s, you can call them at 1s and 2s. But mythically, because people phrase things a certain type way, all of a sudden, you're looking crazy. But who told you he couldn't pick it up? Yeah, I know Pat Shurmur. He runs a West Coast offense, and Pat Shurmur it's been a coach in Cleveland. He's been a head coach in Cleveland. He's been a head coach in New York. I understand, and I know that he has 6 other places other coordinators he's played for, and he's thrived under all of those different coordinators. It's not as close as we thought. No, who told you that? What? You did. You said that. That was your headcanon. That was Kevin Stefanski didn't say he didn't know his plays. Anytime he's asked why he's not getting first team reps, he says, don't look too far into it. Those guys are getting mixed reps with a bunch of people. Has he ever came to you and said he don't know his plays or his playbook? Has Tommy Rees come to you, the offensive coordinator, and says, I just don't, it's kind of a little slower develop. Where is this idea and this thought that he's not grasping the playbook, does not have the understanding, doesn't have the footwork down, does not have all of this stuff down? Who is telling you that? That's the point. Nowadays, there's a blurred line. with people saying this, that, and the third. Who told you Dylan Gabriel's picking it up so well? Who says he's just behind? What do you mean behind? It's behind with the playbook, and like people will make up a narrative and just roll with it, and you have to literally hold their feet to the fire and say, who said that to you? I'd like to know. It happens every year. He had trouble in the pre-draft process. He had trouble on the whiteboard. He had trouble with his plays. Bro, this has been going back to the 90s. This has been going back to 2000. I've been playing all the time. Let somebody who is talented not be playing, and the first thing that people say is they don't know the plays. Or they don't practice hard. Or they get speed of the games too fast. Has to learn how we do things. Has to understand the verbiage, being in the huddle, intangibles. If I hear another person say break the huddle, I'm going to lose my mind. It's all about how you're just breaking the huddle. Stop with that stuff. Like, no, breaking the huddle. Let me give you a little heads up. There are so many different things that you need to worry about as a quarterback than these cliche breaking the huddle, knowing this, that, and the third. The greatest thing about, and why football is so hard, is that when Kevin Stefanski calls a play and he calls it in, and whoever's at the quarterback gets that play, guess what? They're in control from there on out. They are the ones who are operating the cockpit at that point. When you're talking about Maverick and Top Gun, air traffic control can't help you, bro. Your general in flight school can't help you. Who teaches Maverick from Top Gun how to dog fight 10,000 feet in the air? Who teaches him maneuvers? Who teaches him where it's an innate ability? That is why they get paid the money. That's why when you say franchise quarterback, it's the innate ability to take something abstract like a play that's not predetermined and make it magical. And it happens within 3 seconds. And that is the beautiful thing about it. Because those quarterbacks don't know what's going to happen. But they're so sharp. They're so locked in. And they have the ability, the talent to not know what's going to happen, but make it look like it's all planned on the fly. It's a beautiful thing when it's cooked up like that. It's beautiful. And you only find out about that when the live bullets is flying. You don't find out about how you break the huddle. Of course, breaking the huddle is important. But what you do in that 3 to 5 seconds when you say hike, it's where the magic happens. So when people be telling you all these sources and how you figure and this is what I think, ask them, who told you that? Who told you that? Let me get to it. We got a bunch of, before we get out of here, we'll make sure we get to all your comments. You guys have been great today. 2,209 people in here. We want to keep shouting y'all out. Thank you for joining me on the 4th of July. We'll make sure we get to all these super chats. Where are we at? Let's see. Let me take this down real quick so we can get to you. Make sure we got your stuff. Jonathan McGriff says, let Cleveland be Cleveland. Shedeur Shade allowed me to find your show. Keep grinding. I would love LeBron James ending in Cleveland. Just a Florida guy. I appreciate you for rocking with us through Florida, man. I appreciate everybody wherever you at in the great state of Florida, wherever you at watching the Barber Shop. Our widening net is casting out there, and we appreciate you guys making this a part of your weekend. And so we thank you guys for pulling up on us and getting that fresh cut. Let's continue on. Doshi Doshi. Pickett and Gabriel are the guinea pigs for the offense, as has been reported. That tells me Stefanski already knows Flacco and Shedeur are 1 and 2. You see, they already started. They started talking about, I heard somebody say, well, now Flacco is the trade bait. All of a sudden, see, they mess around and find out he can play. That's what happened. He didn't mess around and believe he could throw that football. Well, let me see what this is. Domo's real to reality. G. Bush, I'm shocked that the Browns picked up Pickett. I was confused when they did it. I was kind of confused. I didn't understand the move myself, my guy. Tupac Shedeur got all eyes on Cleveland. I see you. I see you. Let me see. We get a couple more in here. Demand, we appreciate you, man. I've never seen so many people in the fan base that wants to talk themselves out of a good thing. Shedeur is passing the eye test. Now they need glasses. Yeah, I think, people that will talk you out of certain things, man. I don't let other people's insecurities cloud my judgment. Sometimes you gotta be at a position where you be able to take a blessing. You ever see somebody that just can't take no compliment? You be like, hey man, I really see you. I really see you doing your thing, man. You got a lot of progression. I'm proud of where you came from. Nah, man. I'm just, nah, dog. Nah, I'm a work in progress, man. But I got a lot of different things that you be like, bro, no. You're doing your thing. Nah. You be like, dang, take the compliment. Take it. Take the layup. Take the layup. What's up, Mr. Tillman? G. Bush, my guy. We appreciate you. Kadir Richards. G. Bush cutting today. We cutting today. We doing the most. Let me get to the bottom of this. Jeanette Fox. People are just being crazy about the playbooks. They think that there is one set of plays for Shedeur and another set for Dylan. I can't. I can't. We can't. Jeanette, we can't make this up. We can't make it up. They literally feel like this is hieroglyphics that he got over there. I'm like, they all are in the room calling the same plays, but they be trying to twist it like this. I'm like, bro, come on, man, stop. Oh, man. Packers fan. Be great, 12. I'm a Packers fan, but the underlying hate in Cleveland is disgusting. This is wild. This is how you know people like the truth. Because he's a Packers fan. Ain't no reason he should be even watching the Barber Shop. We appreciate you, though. We appreciate you pulling up. We appreciate you. Let's get to a couple more. The Texas Truth. Their narratives is insane. That they say playing for 3 different colleges equals more than 6 different offensive coordinators. I try my best not to call these people stupid, but it's getting ridiculous. It's like it's hard. It's hard sometimes to do it like that. And here's what I always say. And this is the great thing about football. This is going to be a hell of a preseason. I want everybody to be ready to go. You know what we're going to be doing over here. We're going to be on the post games. We're going to be on the pre games. Barber Shop, we're going to pull up and we're going to get to it. Because these is going to be some very, very well-watched games. And by the way, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, if it's available to the public, G. Bush will be outside in Berea. watching whatever I can watch, because that's the thing. You got to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have pushed so hard for it. I wouldn't push so hard to be like, I got to be over it. I got to figure it out, because I respect. Here's what I respect. I respect that if you're going to be at that top notch, right? People want you to be putting in that level of authenticity and work. I could look at the video all I want. It's just something different from seeing it. So if y'all want that real cut, please understand we're gonna be coming back reporting what we're seeing here. Boots on the ground. So make sure y'all check that out. We'll be doing some other things. I might come on. Y'all let me know. You know, I'll come on and I'll give you, and this is outside of what we're doing. I'll come on and give you a recap. So put this in the chat if you want to see the ones, if you catch in the comment section. If you guys want, it'll be a little extra work. But the days that I'm not on, Wednesday, Thursday, if you want me to come on, pop on live and give you just my news and notes from what I saw that day, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. If you like, nah, just give it to us on Saturday when we get to it on the barbershop, put a 2. But if you want, because I'll come on, look, I like to be, and it won't just be quarterbacks. It'll be what I saw with the offensive line, what I saw with the D line, what I saw with different things, who showed up, who looked like they're getting better, things like that. It'll be a bigger overview. Obviously, the quarterback thing is going to be a big part of it, because that's what people want to see and hear. But if that's something that you guys want, and we come on afterwards and I just jump on live and give you what I saw live, let me know if that's some content that y'all would appreciate, or if that's something you would watch. Or put a 1 in there if you want that. Put a 2 if you say just wait, save it till Saturday. We could definitely do that. So one last super chat. Great show. My questions is, are the Browns operating out of fear of failure or fear of success? That's a very good question. It's a great question to end on. I believe the Cleveland Browns are operating from a position of not having a plan. I would say, what's your plan? Like for usually for what has to happen for a quarterback to be successful is that it needs to be a coach in the front office, one band, one sound. I picked you, the general manager. The head coach says, I chose you to work with. And the ownership says, I believe in you. If you get 3 people behind you, that means it's one band, one sound. That means they're going to do everything they can to get a receiver when you need it, everything that they can as a coaching staff to say, I need to put them in the best position. What plays do you like? What plays do you want? What plays are comfortable for you in third and something? What are we doing with this? Hey, what protection schemes do you like, right? You're going to have a running game so you keep them upright. The ownership group is going to be saying, hey, we're promoting this dude. We want him in the community. Here's the face of the franchise. But when you don't have that level of backing, you're always trying to put fires out, and it's almost like you're always trying to prove yourself to another faction that wants somebody else to be king. I call it the Great Game of Thrones. When the king dies in the kingdom, there was all kind of different factions that claim that they are the new king. The queen can say, well, I know this is a kingdom, but I got as good a stake to the crown as anybody. I'm his wife. I'm him. He has sons. It's the firstborn son. But what if the firstborn son is a little baby? Does that make his half son with a higher throne or a significant chance to be the king than his baby brother? What if the brother of the king, who's the general, who's won all kind of kingdom and land for the king, what if he says, I got the military backing, why am I king? There's somebody in the Senate or a politician that says, I'm the one who's backing the crown. I got all the purses. I got the money. What if the biggest landowner in the game says, listen, I'm the one feeding the kingdom. Why ain't I the king? It's always somebody vying for the crown, right? So when you talk about quarterbacks, that's what we're talking about. Who's going to be the king? Because they need the backing of the team. They need the backing of the head coach. They need the backing of the general manager. They need the backing of ownership. And if you only have one faction behind you and you're still trying to build up and build up and build up and build up, sometimes it's better for you to let other people fight wars and lose. I always said it. Maybe it ain't good for Shedeur to go first. Maybe you let Kenny Pickett go out there and flame out. I don't know. Maybe Flacco goes first and we figure out he ain't it. People clamor for you more. People want you to be out there more. But it's a very tricky game in the Game of Thrones. If Dylan Gabriel goes before him and puts some good games up, there's a chance maybe you might not get a chance or a shot to get into the game. That's why it's so interesting. So interesting. B. Watt said he want to hook up. He's coming to camp. Hey, listen, you know me. We gonna hook up. Tell him to holler at your boy. He coming to town. We gonna get it done. We'll get it done. All the time, man. Reverend, appreciate you as always, man. And I'm gonna say we appreciate everybody. Hit that like button for me as well. Make sure you check out my other show, Top 5. We appreciate every single person that does that. There's a link in the description. We want to thank you for those who give that an opportunity, a shot, and supporting independent media. A like, a comment. You ain't got to do too much. A like, a comment, just to support. I appreciate every one of you and you taking a look at that and watching the page over the 4th of July. We want to thank you guys for always pulling up on me on the Barber Shop and showing support. Shout out to the UCSS gang. Shout out to the Barber Shop gang. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to Facebook. And wherever you are, keep supporting. Keep hitting that like button if you want the real. With that being said, you never know where I'm going to show up, radio, TV, or internet. But if you want the fresh cut on sports, I'm always here to get that to you. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, first and foremost, as I always say, go Browns.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barber Shop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barber Shop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the Barber Shop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.